On today's episode, wrestling versus jiu-jitsu. CJI 2 is putting it to the test.
LevelxBlack changing the game in wrestling.
How to plan your jiu-jitsu journey as a women's white belt.
Hair plugs over butt plugs.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the pod. My name is Kenny. I am here with Matt in person.
What's up, guys? Look at me.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, dude. Just takes people dying for me to freaking get some time away from their family, you know? Yeah, I'm here, man. Let's have some fun.
So there has been some stuff going on in the jiu-jitsu space.
Let's talk. If I want to talk about your birthday, Kenny.
Oh,
I want to talk about your birthday. You know, you're not getting away, dude. What the fuck you think this is, dude? Kenny just had a birthday. Okay. 42. What I've noticed, lying up on your age is way better now. Everybody used to lie down, including your mom. Everybody used to lie down on their age because they don't want to admit how old they're getting. But if you lie up on your age,
now you look good for.
Like I'm 41. I'm like, nah, man, I'll be 48 next year. They're like, damn, dude, you look fucking good, 48.
I had a coworker like about a year ago. They were like, it was other coworkers talking, and I heard one of my coworkers say, "Yeah, Kenny looks really good for 50." And I just, from my office, I'm like,
you know what?
I fucking hope so. And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "I'm 41."
Hey, damn, you old as shit for 41.
I
dude.
said, "I look like a shot out 41-year-old is what it sounds like."
Blown out 41-year-old.
So yeah, 42. I don't know. I feel like I've settled into my age. I feel 40. I feel good.
You feel 42?
I mean, I have no point of reference other than how I feel, but I feel good. I feel old. You know, I definitely ache all the time.
Could 42-year-old Kenny whoop 32-year-old Kenny's ass?
For sure.
32-year-old Kenny wouldn't stand a fucking chance.
No.
I don't know. Like, if you ask me, like, could 41-year-old Matt beat?
Are we talking about just like if skill were equal across the board?
33, I was a brown belt, and I was like healthy. Like, I don't know, man. 33-year-old brown belt might fuck me up.
Yeah.
Brown belt, Matt, like, you know what I mean? Lifting every day, you know, waking up fucking bricked like 1 out of 5 days. You know what I mean? Like, I might like just training for a black belt. Like, I might fuck myself up right now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not even, I would say, like, let's say skill were even across the board. I think I'm in just better shape overall. Like my cardio is better. I did nothing. At 33-year-old Kenny, 32-year-old Kenny, I drank a lot, partied a lot. I didn't sleep a lot of drugs. I lived a whole different life, and I was active. Like I wakeboarded and shit like that. So it's not like I couldn't. I mean, I could do sports.
Brothers don't wakeboard.
No. I think water in general is not their bag.
Come on, hey.
Okay, here
that was kind of racist, Kenny. Kenny, you're becoming Clint Eastwood on me. Get off my lawn in your fucking old age. What the fuck?
So there's a show on fucking Hulu. I guess it was on Fox about special forces, and it's got like Cam Newton and Golden Tate and all these like other. Stephen Baldwin was on it. And the very first, like,
what a fucking trio, dude.
The very first two obstacle things, water.
Cam Newton was fucked.
Bro, they had to tread water in a pool that was 10 feet deep for 15 minutes. This fool made it 5 minutes and he's on the edge of the pool.
Hey, man. Hey.
There's some like 23-year-old influencer on the show. 15 minutes tread water, no problem. Pro bowler, no chance.
I can't tread water either.
Are you a rock?
I'm like a fucking brick, dude. I'm a freestyle drowner.
Yeah. I can swim well-ish. You know, if you look at me like from a competitive swimming standpoint, I'm trash, but I can swim, and I can swim a distance and everything, but
it looks like I'm swimming fast.
Yeah.
But I ain't moving fast.
Yeah. Well, you know how some people can float, like they're buoyant?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I used to be when I was little.
People are just like, I've never been like, they're just like, just hold your breath and you'll float.
It's that root. Huh?
Yeah, I guess.
That root brings you down.
It's a fucking anchor, bro.
It's not an oar. It's a buoy. No, not a buoy. Buoys float.
No. You know, it's just.
So what'd you do on your birthday, dude?
I went to dinner on my actual birthday. My wife took me to this little sushi spot over off of 79 that just opened up recently. Pretty good spot.
Cool.
So we went there with our kid, and then last night she took me on we got a sitter, and we went like on a date, yeah. And we went to this spot in San Diego called Starlight that I'd never even heard of, but my wife was like, "Oh, it's gonna be fun." All it made me want to do is cocaine, Matt. It looked like a 70s like
fucking
disco nightclub. Like it
Bonjour,
was,
dude.
bro. What's weird? It's I don't know how to describe it. It's a restaurant for sure. You walk in, there's a bar, and it like the bar is sunken into the ground. So like the bartenders are like, if you're sitting at the bar, the bartenders are eye level with you, and the bar tops aren't tall. They're like this like a normal table height. So the bartenders are like in the ground kind of. And then when we walk in, like it was just people like little tables, and like I'm like, oh, it's just like a cocktail place. And then they took us like to the back of the same room, and then they had slightly larger tables that you could eat at.
Okay. And
it's super dark in there. There's like hardly any light in the whole place. And they're playing like 70s kind of like disco-y funk.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good vibe, you know. Everybody's dressed up super nice and stuff. And then they bring the menus out, and it was like, I got like a filet mignon and like Wagyu fat mashed potatoes. Like it was good.
People
good
wearing
food.
sunglasses inside.
Yeah, if I looked around a little bit, yeah, I would bet that you would see that.
Okay.
And then apparently they have like a whole back area that's like another bar, and it's more like an actual bar.
Okay.
But it was a real like kind of swanky joint. Nice. We got there. It was packed when we got there. And then by the time we left, like a little over an hour later, there was a line like out the door and like down to the block. Like it was crazy. There's people fucking waiting to get in that place.
So now, and I think I asked this on your last birthday. What are we gonna? And I would like to look back at the checklist of like what you said you were gonna get done.
Who fucking knows, man?
What? So what do you want to do at 42? What are you trying to get done? Jiu-jitsu wise, career wise,
I think
family wise,
career wise, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not trying to progress any further. I'm in a good spot, so I just like to stay there.
Okay,
and just keep making good money. Family wise, we'd like to buy a house this year in the area. So the Texas move, for those who keep asking me about when I'm coming to Texas, that's on hold.
Hold, as William Wallace would say, hold, you ain't going.
So
he ain't leaving.
The Texas move's on hold. And I think, we're trying to buy, we're looking like Temecula, Murrieta, Wildomar, but it's looking like Murrieta, Wildomar is probably where you're going to get the most house for the money.
Yeah.
You can get a decent house in the rough price range, but like you can get the same style house in Murrieta for like $50,000 less.
Used houses is the way to go too. From my experience, the brand new houses have cool like upgrades and this, and it comes with solar already, all this kind of stuff, but then your backyard's not finished.
Right.
It's like you get a new house, like it already has a pool, it already has solar, you know what I mean? Like you can find stuff that's already done.
So we're like with the stuff we're looking at, it's got to be bigger square footage wise than this place. Like I feel like we're just kind of like bursting at the seams at this place. I'd prefer a 4-bedroom instead of a 3. We'd like to have an actual guest room and not like a guest room / my office, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the goal as far as like size wise and whatnot. I know the benefits of new construction are they're doing a lot of rate buy downs because the interest rates are so trash right now that like a new construction will like do a 2 or 3 point rate buy down. So if it's like a 7 or 8% interest rate, they'll drop it down like to 6 or 5.
Oh, that might be worth it.
Yeah. So, and then, that would be like the only real benefit. But other than that.
And no one's died in your house.
Right.
That was always a thing for me. Like, I don't think you believe in ghosts, right? Or is that you or is that Little Legs?
I'm not, I mean, they may exist. I don't know. I think he adamantly doesn't believe in them. He should though.
Well, I do.
Motherfucker is out there.
Believe in something. No, hey, dude, we're not telling anybody about that. I don't think we brought that up.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways,
I'll beep that out. Motherfuckers out there, beep.
Nate is not a fan of, I mean, he loves the dogs, dude, but there's definitely a cutoff. No pun intended, dude. There's definitely a cutoff. But yeah, I believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
100%. I lived in places that I felt had stuff like that. So there's no doubt in my mind. Cabinets and stuff shutting and lights turning on their own. And it could have been bad wiring, but it also, you know what I mean? Like, I watched Unsolved Mysteries.
So did I.
Scared shitless as a kid.
Yeah.
And you tell me that ain't real. That's real.
You know, isn't it crazy how content like the things that used to be on TV in like the 80s and 90s were like really focused on aliens and the occult and ghosts and things like that. And that's not so much a thing anymore. It's like a whole new.
Yeah, it's because it's like now people are like, they are real. The government's like, aliens are real. They're telling you now. Like, it's legit. Like, I saw something that the telescope or the Hubble scope or whatever saw, like, within a week to like 2 years, they spotted alien spaceships coming towards us at the speed of light.
Really?
The speed of light. Like, well, when are they going to be here? Like, could be a week or could be like a year. And we're going to have giant city-sized ships right on us.
Like Independence Day?
Yeah.
Wow. We'll see.
We'll see you guard pullers do then, dude.
So, as far as like, I don't know, jiu-jitsu wise, I hope a purple belt comes in the next year.
Yeah.
I'd like to continue. I'm really enjoying jiu-jitsu lately. From like I feel like I have a good base understanding of it now. It doesn't seem so foreign anymore. You know, I can watch high level jiu-jitsu and kind of see what they're doing. I might not understand every intricate little step, but it's not so foreign to me. Like watching as an early blue or a white belt, you're just like, well, that looked really cool, but like, how did that happen?
Right.
You know, now I could rewatch something and be like, oh, I see what he did there, you know? Mm. So I'm having a lot of fun with jiu-jitsu. I'm having a lot of fun, before I thought I knew what my game was as an early blue, but now it's totally changed. And a lot of that has to do with you as well. There's a lot of pressure in my game now. And I'm almost like really proud of it. I'm very proud of it. Like I feel like I have good pressure. I get complimented from upper belts on my pressure and stuff. So it's like, I'm really trying to like hone in on that and like just really be nasty with it.
That's good.
And I'm starting to look for like entries and things like that. Like, and not just, I'm trying to force myself not to be reliant on half guard and lockdown and know that I have those in my back pocket if I need them, but let's try to play some other things right now.
Let's bring the other things up to par.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on right now. So, I'm having a lot of fun with jiu-jitsu. I want to keep it fun. I'm injury free, knock on wood. I'd like to stay there, as long as we can. And, and hoping for purple. And then as far as like, the rest of the stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you know, things that I just want to improve on. Like, obviously,
gonna grow that hair back.
I don't think
there's that. I've seen guys even in this space that are doing their hair regrowth. Tom DeBlass.
Yeah,
it had his little fucking.
I'm not doing that, bro.
Regrowth. Dude, where'd they go to? Fucking Turkey.
Yeah. Did you see that Craig Jones posted something the other day,
dude? Huh?
Did you see Craig Jones posted something the other day? It was like a New York Post clipping, and it had 2 pictures of Craig Jones, and it says, washed up jiu-jitsu stars, hairline is like turning ladies on or something like that. And then it like Turkish Airlines reposted it and said, fuck.
Craig.
So, I'm good on the hair thing. I'd like to, I've been doing a lot of shooting, a lot of dry firing, and really just trying to like get better at that. I feel like, kind of like jiu-jitsu, that's a never-ending journey. You know what I mean? Like, you can always get better kind of a thing. There's no like, okay, now I'm proficient, you know? Mm-hmm. I can stop now. And it's something, it's like, it's like riding a bike, in the fact that like, if you remember the mechanics, you can really like kind of slow down and shoot well. But if you're trying to become a better shooter, the point is to be able to shoot well and faster.
So I get that. But like, to me, from the outside perspective, because I don't do that, obviously. Own guns don't really. I'm one of those, you know, But the quickness of it, but like, when is that really going to be necessary?
When you actually need to use your gun.
When you're like, because you're not doing like duels. Like if I was pulling my gun out, I'd be like behind a wall. I pull it out. I go look, right?
What if somebody's approaching you with a knife? Like the Cheeto Vera situation.
I would just back up, keep that distance, keep that 21 feet distance, and then pull it out. I'm like, hey.
Right. But what if there's a wall 2 feet behind you? You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. All right, Kenny.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. You're going to have to, you know what I mean? So that's the.
I would go like those, stop. Like those fucking.
The videos, the self-defense videos. Stop. The double hands.
Stop it, dude. Palm strike, dude.
So yeah, the shooting, I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'd like to continue to develop that. And it's been a cool activity, like doing it with Nate as well. You know, he's getting kind of into it as well. So
Nate's turning.
Yeah. We talk about Nate a lot and he's never been on the podcast. We're gonna have to change
that. Well, he's a character now. We gotta bring him on. You gotta see these legs, guys. Fuck.
We'll make him do a 360.
God damn, dude. You only need to do a 180, dude. You don't need to do a 360.
He just, at one point in time when he turns, he just looks like a floating torso.
This is a throwback. Have you ever seen the show Wienerville?
Yeah.
When you're kids, like the big face and little arms and legs. That's fucking Nate, dude. That's Nate.
So, but
He's
yeah,
a fucking human ladder.
Nate went from hardcore liberal to relatively. I mean, he's getting into guns. He bought. I started out with helping him build a rifle, and then he bought a handgun, and now he just bought another handgun. Or no, he bought a third handgun. So
I don't care where you guys are politically. Whatever. It's cool, dude.
And he's been training.
But like,
and he's getting into it. He's getting into shooting. He just bought his fourth gun.
You could be a liberal if you want. That's fine. Or you can be whatever you want to be. That's what America's about. But
he was very like
he was like
standoffish about it.
Yeah,
no, I don't know. I have a gun, but
the only violent thing I do is against animals. Not just kidding.
We're just shitting on Nate today. Nate, we love you. We're shitting on you because we fucking love you, bro.
Nate doesn't hurt animals, guys. They deserved it. I think that he was started off like, oh, now he's in the guns, and then now, he liked Fords. I'm not saying Ford guys are liberals by any means, but maybe a little bit. And then now he's like, I like the Z06 vet. You know what I mean? Like he's coming around. Like we're wearing him down.
We're having some influence on Nate.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the testosterone, honestly.
Yeah. We convinced him to get on tier 10. All of a sudden he changed into a Chevy lover.
I got a gun I can't buy. I bought a new gun. I'm like, how many guns is too many guns?
What?
Are you going to buy more guns this year?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Did you buy yourself a birthday gun?
No.
Do you have one in the cart?
No. I don't. The only the next gun I want to buy is a 22 rifle to start teaching my daughter how to shoot.
I get that.
Yeah. So we've been doing BB gun in the backyard every once in a while. She got a BB gun for her like third birthday or second birthday from my buddy Mark. So I've been taking her in the backyard, teaching her about eye protection, ear protection, and how to aim, what the barrel of the rifle is, how to pull the trigger, that kind of thing. So
I saw a game on the internet, Kenny. You ready?
Yeah.
You have 20 grapes.
Okay.
Each grape you eat is worth $100,000.
Okay.
One of the grapes is poison, instant death. How many grapes you eating, Kenny, at 42 years old?
0.
You're not eating one grape.
No, because it could be the one. It's probably the one that's going to take me out.
You're that unlucky.
Yeah, you see, I'm not much.
What
of
if it's 1,000 grapes? 1,000 grapes, and 999 of them are great, but one of them is poison. And you can shuffle them.
Is there any indication that it's bad?
No, they all look the same.
No, I'm not chancing it.
Oh, dude, I might eat like 11, dude.
Yeah, 0. I'm not chancing it.
But I know when I get to 11, I'm like, I want more grape, dude.
Yeah.
And I would probably just put them all in my mouth and eat 10. Like a fucking chipmunk.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, dude. How quickly do you die? Like
You get
instantly? Like
30
you bite
seconds.
it and you die?
30 seconds. Oh, that one tastes funny. What the fuck?
Like, you know, I'm saying like if it was like, oh, like later that day, it's like now you ate 10 grapes and you're walking around with anxiety for the next 10 hours.
No. It's within like 30 seconds, but you know you ate the bad one. Because it tastes like a fucking Sour Patch Kid.
I fucking, because I have a good life, like a wife and a kid that I fucking love, kids that I love.
That Porsche is $300,000.
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
You have 999 of them are good. Only one is bad.
Yeah.
You need 3 grapes to get your car, Kenny, and your podcast studio and your 6-bedroom house or your farm or your...
How much are they worth a piece?
$200K each. If you're going 999 of them, $200,000 a grape. 11 grapes. You could buy yourself a fucking ranch.
Two grapes.
400K set you straight.
No, but it's just like that's about as willing as I'm.
And what are you spending that 400K on?
Honestly, it would probably all go into a home, because to not have the financial burden of a house payment, you know what I mean? And just be able to like, okay, there's thousands of dollars a month that I don't have to worry about paying anymore.
Yeah. Or I would put it into like a stock where I get the dividends would pay me enough to pay my mortgage, and I can still use my house as a write-off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, your boy would be fucking Cleopatra. Grapes. Just like Magic Johnson in that Michael Jackson video.
So we got some jiu-jitsu news. We've been so stagnant on jiu-jitsu news for the longest time. And
at first we thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. Well, I got 2 things we're going to talk about. We'll talk about that one first. So Craig Jones on April 1st announces him in a super fight versus Gable Stevenson, which is insane. This is arguably one of the best heavyweight wrestlers in the last like 2 decades, maybe more.
Yeah.
Olympic wrestler.
Arguably the greatest wrestler of all time. That's what some people say. Now he did lose a couple weeks ago, but they say like he's arguably the best. Olympic gold, heavyweight.
And not like a sloppy heavy, you know what I mean? The dude is a fucking unit of a human.
Oh yeah, 250 pounds or something like that. 230 pounds, something athletic.
Yeah,
backhand springs and shit.
So, submission grappling match versus Craig Jones, who is, I think Craig Jones is like 210-ish, so he's got probably 30 to 40 pounds on Craig.
Right.
And here's the other thing too, is we know CJI doesn't give a shit about testing and whatnot. And we know Craig is going to be on the sauce, but Gable, because he is probably going to try to go for the next Olympic team as well, he can't touch it.
Oh, he won't. He don't need it.
Yeah.
For strength-wise, he don't need it. He's going to be strong. He's going to be the stronger competitor.
Yeah.
No doubt.
He's fast. He's skilled.
There's a pit wall with a wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to worry about driving somebody off the mat and having to be restarted.
Look, everybody's like, we've had some people in the comments like, you got to have a wrestler here talk about the wrestling side. I think there's a way Gable Stevens can win, especially in the CJI platform where it's points.
Yeah, with the must system and everything.
It's points, right? So he could take down what we saw in the past with wrestlers in the CJI platform. Even Pat Downey, who's training jiu-jitsu more than Gable Stevenson, was guard passing.
Yeah.
They struggled at passing the guard because they're really good guard players is very, very leggy. And the judges are predominantly jiu-jitsu judges, and they're not going to reward almost passing the guard. They don't consider that as activity in jiu-jitsu. So if I was Gable Stevenson and I knew the super fight was coming up, I would call Gordon. I would go to New Wave. I'd be with Danaher. But hey, I'm fighting the guy. You guys don't like each other. You have beat him. What do I need to avoid? Help me defensively against leg attacks, against stuff like that, work with me on my submission defense so I can just be a fucking unit and be super athletic and outpoint Craig Jones.
And I think that there's some lower skill effective subs that could be taught to a wrestler in the next few months with the right strength and, positioning and whatnot. That
a wrestler can transition very well into jiu-jitsu if he just, he could learn some stuff. I don't think, I obviously would favor Craig Jones in this matchup because of submissions and leg entanglements and stuff wrestlers haven't seen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Are you going to see Gable on his back? I don't think you'll see him on his back.
Right. Yeah, he spent the last 25 years of his life.
I don't think you'll see him on his back. So I think it's going to be, I think he can get his back taken, but I still think he's going to be up on turtles. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I think what happens is just my prediction for the fight. I think everybody's going to say, "Oh, Craig Jones is going to leg lock him." I think that's too obvious. Look at the Craig Jones Gabby fight. Gabby is a legit jiu-jitsu black belt. Craig was toying with her. You know what I mean? He had submissions that like he had it locked, and he's just like, I'm being nice. Like, I'm not gonna destroy her knee for this super fight. You know what I mean? And he let it go and he went to something else. I think Craig is going to try to choke him. I think he's going to try to make it a without a doubt. And we don't have all the information yet. There is the possibility too, because I don't know if you remember the very first Bo Nickel Gordon Ryan match. There was a rule that there was no leg locks.
Mm-hmm.
So that could.
I think even if they do have a rule like that, Kenny, they're not going to say it. It's going to kind of be like the Tyson fights.
Yeah,
because they don't want to like take away from what people want to see.
Right.
So they're just not going to. He's like, okay, I won't do that. Don't worry about it. But I mean, there's a good chance that Craig Jones is going to collar tie with Gable. I think he's going to try. Craig Jones is an entertainer. I 100%. Think he's going to not just, because he even said, wrestling's been debunked. All you got to do is sit on your ass and you beat it.
Yeah.
I think he's going to collar tie. I think he's going to let Gable get to a spot where he can shoot a cool takedown. And I think Craig Jones is going to feel that Gable Stevenson is probably something he's never felt before.
Yeah.
Because he's arguably the GOAT wrestler, right? So it's kind of like he's going to feel it like, well, I never felt this before. I better Graham be out of this. You know what I mean? Like, right. I better get to a dominant, safe position. And also on Gable's side, you better come proper. Like, a lot of wrestlers don't respect jiu-jitsu guys at all.
Right.
Because their training is harder than jiu-jitsu training, which I think everybody could agree with that. The wrestling room,
just the general grind.
The wrestling room is tough. So they don't really have respect for, the guard pulling and, because takedowns is the toughest thing to do in grappling.
Right.
But you better come proper because real quick, it could be over for the wrestler.
Yeah.
So I think if there's going to be a finish, it's definitely going to be Craig Jones. I don't think people see Gable Stevenson finishing Craig Jones.
I think what I'm excited about is this cross-pollination of the grappling worlds. And I think that was the initial intent of ADCC, and I think it kind of went away. But the initial ADCC, like the initial advertisements for the original ADCCs were the best Sambo guys, the best wrestlers, the best jiu-jitsu guys, the best catch wrestlers, all in the same tournament. Almost kind of like the old UFC mindset, like karate versus taekwondo versus jiu-jitsu versus boxing versus street fighting, that kind of a thing. And at some point in time, that kind of went away. I overheard something I was listening to. Maybe it was due to Mark Kerr coming into ADCC and just fucking smashing people and winning. So maybe they stopped inviting wrestlers after that. But it's nice to see some cross-pollination of grappling sports again. And I think it's good for grappling as a whole. And it would be cool to see more of these. I get excited when we see the Jason Nolfs and the Pat Downeys and now the Gable Stevensons coming over to jiu-jitsu or submission grappling and doing some actual work, And it's cool to see Pat Downey embrace it and be like, I'm training jiu-jitsu now. And he's a purple belt, So,
I mean, that wouldn't be a horrible person for Gable to link up with also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because he could kind of get him up to speed on the, hey man, these are the things that work at our level. And
because it's not going to be Nolf, because where Nolf trains.
Right.
That's, you know,
yeah.
It's not going to be Nolf. So
Yeah. Yeah. Nolf is a B team guy.
Yeah. So it won't be there. But I think Craig's going to he's not going to just sit on his ass. I think he's going to welcome the stand-up exchange just so people can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like you said, he's an entertainer. I think that would be good for Craig, good for CJI, good for just crowd reaction and whatnot.
And I'm curious to see if Craig trains hard for it.
I think so.
Yeah. He always seems like he's not, like he's with the fucking, you know, he's in Thailand and he's doing all his crazy stuff, but I think he's getting rounds in.
For sure.
And he will be sauced. For sure.
For sure.
For sure, dude.
Watch him just come in jacked.
I think Gabby, yeah, is she a big lady? Yes. Not like fat, but like she's just a massive lady. But I don't think that's a good comparison because, you know, she's still a woman. Women just don't have the power that men have, raw, like acceleration power.
Right.
And I think when you touch a guy who's like, you just touch, if Gable Stevenson can touch you, you'll be fucking, your feet will be looking at the ceiling. You know what I mean? Like you're down, like his snap, everything is like, it's crazy. Even the guy he lost to 2 weeks ago, he hit a fireman's carry on that guy. He didn't get the takedown points. It was so fucking fast.
Yeah. His speed is insane.
Insanity, dude. And you're not going to like, his scrambling to stay up on top is like, psh. Yeah, I don't know, man. You're going to I think they're going to engage. He's going to get taken down. And then he's going to get into a closed guard. And that's where the fight's going to go. And then can he keep his elbows on the stomach? Don't put your elbows on the mat. Can he frame? Can he pass the guard? Can he open the guard? Can he get into, because you know Craig's going to get into this freaking Z guard.
Do you think that something like this is like kind of a rebirth of catch wrestling? Where it's like, hey, wrestlers, like there's something that's in between.
I want to know why Gable's doing this. He's definitely saying, yeah, I know they made like a pro wrestling league, like not like a real like wrestling. There's
Gotcha.
like that now. They're starting to do that. And I also know that they, but I think that Gable Stevenson's been trying to look for something, a different outlet, because he knows his wrestling career is pretty much done.
Right.
And he's already done it all in Olympic style. So I feel like, because he was in the WWE developmental for the last like few years, thinking about being a professional wrestler.
Oh, really?
And then they cut him. I don't know why. Maybe his promo or what. I don't know why he got cut, but he ended up, no, he's not doing that now. And I think maybe this.
I heard something about him playing football though.
I heard he tried that too.
He's like,
yeah,
he's trying.
He's trying everything. Yeah, he didn't make that either. I think he's just trying to find something, and I think this maybe it pays. You know what I mean? Super fights like this, he gets the jiu-jitsu thing, does the Pat Downey route, or this is a gateway for him to MMA.
True.
So I think there's going to be something. His competitive career is not, obviously the juices are still flowing. He's looking for something else. So
he's young too. He's only like what, 24 or something like that.
Right. And if you're saying this is the main event,
23. Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Olympic gold versus the second best to ever do it. No, the number 2, no gi.
Yeah.
That's a joke. I'm for that.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. You know, speaking of this cross-pollination thing, I just wanted to, there's nothing behind what I'm about to say right now.
Okay.
But I wanted to shout out LevelxBlack. Now that makes sense what I just said. The LevelxBlack went from being, nothing in the jiu-jitsu, like from a non-existent brand to the biggest brand in the jiu-jitsu game in like a 3-year span. Massive social media presence. Crazy enough, all run by one guy, social media wise. And he's now taking a run at becoming the biggest brand in wrestling. Is there another brand out there that is a multi-grappling sport, top tier, You know what I mean? Like I know Hyperfly makes a lot of jiu-jitsu stuff, but then they also make some judo gis and things like that. But
Adidas does both a little bit.
Yeah, but they're not the top brand. You know what I mean?
Right.
Adidas isn't a top brand in jiu-jitsu at all. It's not even a top 10 brand in jiu-jitsu, I don't think. I mean, they make Gracie Baja uniforms. That's kind of it.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. The most embarrassing thing about a kid wrestling is the singlet.
Right.
If you can make them a little bit cooler. Yeah.
You know, I was actually watching a pod the other day. This will be kind of a brief sidestep. It was with Bo Nickel and some other guys, and they were talking about wrestling's the only sport where you don't practice in what you compete in.
Yeah. That's why when I said, I think it was Joel Tudor said it, and I was like, dude, that's great. If they changed wrestling into wrestling in,
Shorts,
kits, rashies and shorts, a lot more kids would wrestle. A lot of kids don't want their fucking root and the fucking hanging out in a little singlet and your ribs and you have back acne because you're 15.
Right.
Like, yeah, of course, there's always that one shredded kid, the superstar on the team, but there's also the fat heavyweight.
Right.
Who's like, dude,
right.
What, my titties out? You got AC Slater and you got the guy he beat from the fucking.
And after the match is over, when they pull the top of the singlet down, like it's just shorts. It's like, there's one guy on the team that can do that. And
he's shredded, and there's one guy with fucking mammies like me, dude. There's fucking titties, dude.
You're like, I'm putting a hoodie on.
If you watch, I think it's like season 6 or 5 of Saved by the Bell. AC Slater beats the guy from Valley, and the guy had titties, dude. And fucking there you got fucking Albert Clifford, AC Slater, fucking jacked. That's wrestling in high school. Who wants that? Let them fight in rash guards.
Yeah.
Swimming has changed where they have like the long suits now when they swim. They're not putting all the dudes in Speedos. Like wrestling needs to evolve the way the kids are. The singlet needs to go.
I agree.
Evolve from the singlet, and your game, your sport will grow. Yeah, I think it's. But LevelxBlack's making some cool singlets. I don't own one.
Well, the move that they just made. By the way, Clayton, if you want to send
Matt
a singlet,
I'll wear it on the podcast. That's fucking. Oh fuck.
LevelxBlack just signed Jacob Howland.
Okay.
You know who he is?
No.
He is a big wrestling influencer. He does. If I showed you one of his videos on Instagram, you'd be like, "Oh, I know who that guy is."
Okay.
He basically travels around doing like seminars and whatnot. I don't know what his wrestling pedigree is. What if he wrestles in college. I know he's like a veteran.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about now.
But if I showed you his Instagram, you'd be
Tats.
Like, yes.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Kind of a jack dude.
Yeah.
Looks like he's like maybe in his late 30s or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So they just signed LevelxBlack just signed him. So now he's rocking LevelxBlack stuff, and like that's a big name in the wrestling world. You know what I mean? So especially really influential on younger wrestling athletes and stuff. So they're making moves, man. They've got Nolf. They've got what is it? Brandon Reed.
LevelxBlack, yeah.
Yeah.
So they definitely got some guys.
Yeah.
And if they could land like Bo Nickel, that'd be cool, dude.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Because I saw this video of Bo Nickel. They were talking about that Geo guy. Take me down, get $1,000.
Yeah.
Even though I saw the takedown. Posted already, dude. But they asked Bo Nickel that he could take him down. Bo Nickel's like, I would hope so, but I'm watching him. And he's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, let's set that up. CJI, dude.
Right. Just a takedown challenge.
Or that's what they need to do. Like, don't just be like, there's some popular wrestlers out there. And unfortunately, some of the popular wrestlers are influencers. Like that Buggy, that black guy who does a quick single.
Yeah.
Him versus the guy who take me down, get $1,000.
Yeah.
CJI.
Yeah.
Wrestling. I'd watch it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think it'd be, like sometimes they do like during like the halftime of like a basketball game, like come out here, somebody from the crowd come out here and shoot the shot from half court for $10,000 or something like that.
Have it take me down, get $1,000.
Dude,
guy?
Yes.
And just pull some random number from the audience.
Dude, all the audience is
They're
going
all
to be full.
jiu-jitsu
Yeah,
guys.
hell
Fuck
yeah.
that'd be sick, dude. God damn it. God. How do we get a media pass to talk to Greg Jones? To tell him that, dude, we got great ideas.
Greg,
we got ideas.
You got to have the BJJ Balance at
CJI too, dude. We're here.
We'll walk around we'll bring a cameraman. We'll walk around. We're just going to do short interviews. We're going to create a buzz. And we're full of great ideas.
We're gonna, talk about pussy. We're gonna shit with the door open.
Make our own beef jerky.
Yeah, we're fun, dude. We're fun time, dude. Some guy said I sound like John C. Riley. I've got that numerous times. Like, he sounds like John C. Riley. I'm like, the guy from Step Brothers?
I don't hear it.
Hello, ladies. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, we got some questions to dive into. We're all fucking all over the place right now. I'm loving it.
We're all loving it like fucking Burger King. That's McDonald's.
It's McDonald's. Damn. This one is from Sarah Negrebe.
Okay.
Best advice for a fresh female white belt who's trying to remain on pace.
What do you think?
Matt sent me this question earlier this week, and I was joking around, and I said, "Quit,
quit." No, don't quit, Sarah.
Don't quit. Don't quit.
The best advice I have for you would be, your pace is your pace. Other people's pace is their pace. Don't judge your game on other people's games, because everybody's life is different. Everybody's injuries are different. Everybody's game is different. So,
do you think it's important for girls to have other girls in the gym that they
find your friend, find your gym buddy, find your girl?
Yeah,
because that is important, because it's hard going to a class with a bunch of dudes and being like, oh boy, this is gonna be a long day for me if people aren't letting me work. And
well, I think it's a couple of things too. One, not just to say like there's a size disparity or strength disparity. Men are full of testosterone. And testosterone makes you aggressive. And I think that I'm not saying that aggressive women don't exist, but as a whole, I feel like men are going to be more aggressive than women when it comes to that kind of a thing. Two, ego. Women don't typically have, I'm not saying there's not women out there with an ego, but women don't typically have the ego that men do. So when men lose or they're in a losing position, they might get a little dirty, or they might get a little more aggressive than normal because they're losing and their ego is biting at them.
There's a lot of fear from both sexes when a woman's in a class. And there's different kinds, right? So like a guy, from a woman's perspective, you're scared that you're going to get hurt by some crazy dude who doesn't know that you're a girl. And from a guy's side, guys don't want to roll with girls. They're afraid to ask them because they don't want to be that guy who's like asking the girl for a roll.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, so if you're a professor of somebody, you got to know this, because it's hard for girls to get rounds. So if you know that your class doesn't have a good mix where guys are cool with the girls, the professor should roll with the girl or set up matchups for her.
Yeah.
Because some dudes are douchebags and they're like, I don't want to roll with a girl because I'm not going to get any work. Well, then you're a bad teammate, bro.
Right.
Period. Like, everybody's on this team. Help people get better. Don't be it. So, Sarah, my advice for you is find your buddies. Get yourself a group chat. If you don't have an all-women's class, if you're just going to regular classes, hey, you going to train today? You got to find that person. And that person, it's going to be hard to find a guy that wants to be in a group chat, especially if he's in a relationship, period. You know what I mean? So you just got to find girls that want to train with you. And it's unfortunate that's what the state we are in jiu-jitsu. But right now, that's the state we are in jiu-jitsu. It's good to have some homies that can hey, let's go do this class on Wednesday. Let's do that class together. You know what I mean? You have to find a gym buddy.
Yeah. It's not a 50-50.
But don't judge yourself. Don't judge your shortcomings in jiu-jitsu and in the training room to the other people, especially to men, because you know what I mean? Because everybody's on a different length in growth.
Okay. Austin John 22. How do I deal with people in the gym that I've surpassed in rank and they have obvious envy of it?
I don't look backwards, dude.
Yeah, I would say smash.
Why are we looking backwards, Austin? John the second. What a Bible verse. Don't.
I wish we could get a little more clarification on this, because I think what he's saying is that maybe there's some jealousy, or maybe there's some like, oh, I deserve it more than he does kind of a thing, and he got it before me.
You're always going to have guys coming at you hard when you get a new belt.
Yeah.
Especially the belt that you were. Those guys are like, oh, hell no, I beat him sometimes. I'm going to show if I beat him, and it's not out of disrespect. It's not like they don't think you don't deserve the belt. And even if they did,
maybe
they're
Professor
rolling with you.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, if they gave him his purple and I'm only a blue, if I roll with him and beat him, Professor will be like, I should get my purple too.
Right.
Like that's what they're doing it for. But in my experience, I don't look at the people below me. I'm looking at, if you just got your purple, you should be looking at the browns you want now. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Let those guys come, roll with your friends that are at the other belt. Their time will come, and roll hard because they're going to up their game because they want to test that belt. But your eyes should be focused on the next stripe, on the next whatever it is, the next gold medal, because you're looking forward. We're not looking back.
And the last question we got here is from Dami. What's the biggest difference in comp from blue belt to purple?
There's differences is the age. If you're doing adults, I've said this many times, I believe the adult blue belt division has the most drastic difference in between fighting, right? So it's like, because some of these kids are adult blues, but they went through all the junior belts and now they're blue belts, but they've been training for 10 years and they're damn good. And then some 25-year-old who's only been jiu-jitsu for 2 years, he started at 23, he's only been training 2 years, and they go against this young adult blue who's been training 10. There is a massacre is going to happen. You know what I mean? So in black belt, you can get that too. Like, especially in the master, like I've been training for, I go in, I've been training for 16 years. My professor's been a black belt for 16 years. We're in the same division.
Right.
There's a big difference in talent. So in the adult division, it could be, that's the difference. In the masters divisions, everybody's pretty, there's not a huge jump from blue to purple. There's less guys. And you obviously see the same guys a lot that you saw at blue.
Right.
Because, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like the game really doesn't change a lot from like blue to purple or purple to brown. Brown to black is a jump.
I would say that the one obvious difference from blue to purple would be
STDs.
Let's sleep. Smell your dick. 50-50 smells different. I mean, north-south.
50-50 smells, dude. That's a real problem.
People make it to blue. And then stay around for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Get blue belt blues, bail, quit the sport. You know what I mean? Or I was only doing this to get to blue kind of a thing. If you get to purple, you probably really like jiu-jitsu and you plan on sticking to it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's probably the casualness of jiu-jitsu, of the people that you're competing against, are probably gone at that point.
Right.
You're left with the guys that really love jiu-jitsu and stuck with it. And it's probably just going to be harder comps. You're probably not going to come across the guy that's like, just kind of trains jiu-jitsu. And then, like, there are purple belts that are like non-competitive, this is recreational and this is just my hobby kind of a thing. But those guys probably also aren't competing. So
there's more strategy, I guess, at purple belt. Because guys have their game and what they like to do. At blue belt, you're going to get a little more diversity of, there's still that little bit of spaz in there. Yeah. You know what I mean? A little bit. It's not, you never lose it. But like, there's a little more like, I haven't figured out my game yet. So I just throwing it here. When you get the purple belt, guys will be like watching film more like, I know Domi likes to fucking attack the left leg. I'm going to fucking put my right leg forward. Right. Make that hard for him. Like last time when I fought him at blue at this set event, he went straight in half guard. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pull first. There's more strategy, I guess, as you develop your game in the higher belts. Mm-hmm. So I would say that's probably the difference. And both masters and adults. But the adults, there could be a huge difference because some of these kids been training since they were 5. Right. They can't even tie their shoes. They tie their belt before they tie their shoes. And then now you're going against the guy who's been trained. Jim who's been training for 2 years, and he wants to try Pan's adult division, and he goes up against a freaking little kid who's been training forever, gonna get smoked.
Yeah.
Flying armbar at blue belt. What the? I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to do armbar right. So
Right.
that happens.
That's it for questions, brother.
You think what I'm thinking, Kenny?
Aim for the bushes, Matt.
Aim for the bushes. My name is Matt at Ostation BJJ. This is Kenny at Free Variety BJJ. Follow us on all our socials. The Discord is on fire. YouTube, Instagram. We want to get to 7K. We're getting close. We're growing every day. Get us to 7K followers by December. That would be great. We appreciate everything you guys are doing for us and the pod. Thanks for buying the patches. I'll have patches on me if you're in my class this week. If you want to buy one, let me know. And we will catch you next time. And one thing I noticed about being 41, Kenny, this last week, the stream is not as violent. My piss is light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Os.